Hello and welcome to This Week on Xbox. 25 years of Xbox, that's what we're celebrating in a big way. And we're going all out in 2026. We're talking new games, new hardware, and a whole lot more. Ready to jump into the celebration? Let's go. This week, the Xbox Game Showcase kicked off the celebrations in style, and the future has never looked brighter. From world premieres and console exclusives to unexpected reveals that had everyone talking, there was no shortage of excitement. But before we dive into the full recap, let's get into the new hardware. During the show, we unveiled our Xbox 25th Anniversary Collection. The Xbox Series X 25 Limited Edition and the Xbox Wireless Controller X25 Special Edition takes us back to the early 2000s with this design. Plus, check out the classic Xbox logo that goes all the way back to the beginning. Now, let's get back to the games. Here's a quick recap of what you missed.
I know why you're here.
Fable arrives in 2027 with a new character, Isabel, the hero of Wraithmarsh. Persona fans are going wild for this one. We saw a teaser trailer for Persona 6, a new chapter that promises a bold new story with new characters and supernatural adventures. It arrives day one on Game Pass. Plus, Persona 4 Revival is also coming to Game Pass February 18, 2027, and you can pre-order it today. We saw a new trailer for Clockwork Revolution that introduced Morgan's gang, the Rotten Row Hooligans. And Clockwork Revolution will be an Xbox console exclusive. Doom: The Dark Ages Revelations arrives July 7th. You'll be able to play 3 all-new missions when Halo Campaign Evolved launches on July 28th. Spyro: A Realm Beyond is headed to Xbox, the first completely original Spyro game in 20 years. Wishlist it today. Ninja Theory dropped a surprise trailer for Senua, a new chapter in the Hellblade universe that arrives next year. We saw a new trailer for Join Us, an action simulator where you can start your own cult. It launches on Game Pass March 2027. We saw a new trailer for Valor Mortis, revealing Vincent Cassel as the voice of Napoleon Bonaparte. Where Winds Meet is now available on Xbox, but look out for the next major expansion, Hidden Mountains, which releases in July. A new adventure awaits with Minecraft Dungeons 2. It arrives September 29th. We're hyped for the return of Crazy Taxi World Tour. It arrives next year with a new story campaign that unfolds across 5 cities. We got a first look at the new DMZ experience in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4. A new trailer for Resonance: A Plague Tale Legacy revealed intense gameplay with close combat and emotional storytelling. We saw a world premiere of Magicians: The Devil's Deal. Castlevania: Belmont's Curse arrives October 15th. Koei Tecmo and Team Ninja premiered Wo Long 2: Wings of Ember, a new action RPG coming to Game Pass day one next year. Plus, new updates are on the way for Age of Empires 4, The Elder Scrolls Online, Fallout 76, Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, and Sea of Thieves. And that's not all. Head to news.xbox.com to see what else is coming to Xbox in the near future and more anniversary festivities.
Guess we're back to it.
After the show, we went behind the scenes with developers from the Coalition to learn more about Gears of War E-Day, an Xbox console exclusive. E-Day is the origin story of how the history of Sarah changed forever the day the locusts ripped through the ground. Plus, check this out. Experience Emergence Day with the Gears of War E-Day Collector's Edition, featuring a collectible statue and so much more, including the premium edition of the game. Get early access to the open beta beginning August 6th. Pre-order now on the Xbox Game Studios shop.
So what now, Marcus?
We save everyone we can.
If you thought the Xbox Game Showcase was the only big event this past week in the games industry, you missed out. There were even more announcements, world premieres, and surprise drops. Sit back because we got a lot to talk about. Ready for a bloodthirsty treat? We saw a new trailer for Ill, a brand new horror game with intense body horror and bone-chilling action. It arrives to Xbox sometime next year. Stuntman is finally back with Stuntman Hollywood. Get ready to pull over the top stunts when it launches on Xbox Series X and S. Hot Wheels Infinite Rush races to consoles September 24th. A new story arrives in Alien Isolation 2, where you'll have to escape the clutches of the Xenomorph before it's too late. Join the Cosmic Collective in Bio Eden, a cozy game where you craft the perfect biome to restore your planet. A new trailer dropped for The Blood of Dawnwalker. It arrives September 3rd, and you can pre-order it now. Get ready to step into the origins of the world's deadliest assassin with Hitman Classic Trilogy Remastered when it arrives next year, and you can wishlist it today. RuneScape Dragon Wilds arrives September 15th. We saw a new trailer for Star Wars Galactic Racer. It launches worldwide October 6th, and you can pre-order it now. Godzilla Destroy All Monsters Melee Remastered is headed to Xbox November 3rd. You can now play through the entire epic storyline of Attack on Titan 3. Mafia: The Old Country reveals Man of Honor, a new expansion coming August 14th. We saw a new trailer for End of Abyss. It arrives October 1st, and you can pre-order it now. Notting Heads Games revealed a new gameplay trailer for Raji Kaliyuga. We also saw the premiere of Gen Atlas, an action-adventure game where you're stranded on a mysterious planet full of colossal ruins. A new DLC is on the way for 007 First Light that includes Bama, played by Lenny Kravitz. And that's still not everything. Check out the Xbox YouTube page for all the newest game trailers. Here's a look at what was released this week. Become a superstar athlete in NBA The Run. Prepare the street ball showdowns on iconic courts around the globe, where every game is packed with ankle breakers, poster dunks, and hard-nosed defense. The legend has returned. Gothic 1 Remake is out now on Xbox. This open-world RPG modernizes the original with a rebuilt Valley of Mines and an updated combat system. It keeps the game's gritty atmosphere and player-driven progression, letting you explore freely. Here's a look at what's new on Game Pass. High school kid by day, phantom thief by night. Live a double life in Persona 5 Royale, where every heist feels like you're starring in your own epic anime adventure. Play now with Game Pass Ultimate, Premium, and PC Game Pass. Build your dream home in Solarpunk. In this cozy sky-high sandbox, you and your friends build your own community and explore distant islands in an airship. Explore the stars as a member of the crew in Starseeker Astroneer expeditions. Travel through space aboard the ESS Starseeker, where players get together to plan expeditions, upgrade their capabilities, and so much more. Serve up a delicious meal in Bistro. In this deck-building adventure, your meals literally power heroes on their quest to save the world. As Panko the chef, you'll craft magical dishes and prove that sometimes the mightiest weapon against monsters is a really good dinner. You can play Bistro, Starseeker Astroneer Expedition, and Solarpunk with Game Pass Ultimate and PC Game Pass. Watch out, monsters are coming to Xbox. No, really. In this Tower Survivor roguelite, you'll have to defend a city from non-stop monster wars. Get ready to push your survival skills to the limit when it arrives day 1 on Game Pass August 6th. Rivage sends you aboard the stranded ARES space station, where a mysterious anomaly traps you in an endless time loop. Play as Miranda and uncover the fate of your missing crew through their haunting clues. It launches August 13th, and you can wishlist it today. Step into the role of Dylan Faden and control Resident as he battles a cosmic threat in a paranatural version of Manhattan. When you pre-order early, you'll receive bonus cosmetics and artifacts, while the digital deluxe edition adds even more goodies. It arrives September 24th. Dynasty Warriors 3 Complete Edition Remastered charges onto the battlefield October 1st. Team up or settle rivalries in split-screen multiplayer, then forge legendary weapons and master new moves like Perfect Power Guard. Pre-order it now! Here's a remake with 3D art but 2D action. Rayman Legends Retold is headed to Xbox this fall. The beloved platforming adventure is back with gorgeous new visuals, voice cinematics, and so much more. It launches October 1st. Jump into a monster-filled world in Cassette Beasts 2002, where you can collect and fuse over 240 creatures into more than 50,000 animated combinations. Build your ultimate Beast Squad and experiment with endless transformations in this stylish creature-collecting adventure. Build a creepy theme park in My Cannibal Family, where terror lurks amongst the shadows. Turn unsuspecting guests into your next meal using traps and stealth. The chaos begins in 2027. We've got a list of updates that were released this week, so let's check them out. Wiz Khalifa, aka The Wizard, is the new elusive target in Hitman World of Assassination. The Third Sin, a free expansion of Blasphemous 2, is out now on Xbox. Explore the lost colony of Tau Ceti 4 in Season 2 of Marathon. Check out Fortnite Runners, where the map warps into an entirely new island mid-chapter. Enter the gates of hell with World of Tanks Modern Armor's latest season, Winged Devils. Peter Pan, Tinkerbell, and Captain Hook hit the track in Disney's Speedstorm. Plus, get ready to go the distance with Hercules and Phil in Disney Dreamlight Valley. Learn the art of the kill with the Flower and the Flame update in Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. Rebel against the wrath of God in the latest update for 33 Immortals that includes 3 new playable worlds and an ultimate final boss. This weekend for free playdays, enjoy State of Decay 2, Blasphemous 2, and Hell Let Loose. Thanks for riding with us for this long. We've got a lot to look forward to, and we're just getting started. Have an amazing weekend.
Chaos is spreading. With these sprites, creatures born from zero-point energy, they can make you stronger, faster, more dangerous. So we must secure them.
Right there. I'm coming back for sure.
Victory is in
my sight. If you just heard the words, "you have cancer," you should know this. We heard them too. And with over 1,500 research.
Going back to the drawing board isn't always a bad thing. Publishers and developers figured out a little secret. Improving your big game so people want to play it is a good financial decision. Hi folks, it's Falcon. Join the 1% Club. Get the truly unhinged stuff every weekend. Today on Game Ranks, we're talking about the 10 most improved games of 2026 that play different. Starting off at number 10, it's Crimson Dawn.
44 Super Agent. The next thing you can't live without. Clearing up your email, schedule a meeting, and delivering a brief before you finish your morning coffee. Time
that play different. Starting off at number 10, it's Crimson Desert, because developers have worked overtime with post-launch support on this game. They've worked to improve what is a very flawed game. So these fixes should have been in the game from the start. The fact this game launched without an inventory stash is insane. And I'm gonna say there's just no way to fix the story, so who even cares about that? Looking on the bright side, the developers have taken player feedback and made significant changes to the game, which is always a good thing, especially for the people that do like the game. We're at patch 1.09 now, and aside from the aforementioned storage container, there's more treasure chests that have been added to the fairly empty world map in terms of treasure chests. They've made a million tiny little changes that make playing the game a lot smoother than it was. Later updates added useful features like the ability to resummon bosses or bandit camps, so you're not running out of bad guys to fight, which was a real major problem with the game at launch. One of the most important updates is the addition of a fast-forward button in the dialogue scenes so you can skip, or kind of skip, rather, the nonsensical cutscenes to get back to the game, which is, I mean, arguably still baffling. I don't understand why
you can't just skip the cutscenes, but being able to fast forward is better than nothing. But even some of the earliest stuff has been improved. The game has more tutorials, puzzles have been completely revamped to make some degree of logical sense. There's more music for exploring. There's more loading screens, and I don't mean like, there's more loading screens. I mean like the screens are more varied. There's more art, more difficulty options, more quick slot items, and a collectibles chest where you can actually store key items and stop weighing down your inventory. Some of these changes are game-changing, and they fix major problems with this game. I wish they could pare this thing back so it's not trying to be everything and just focus on a few things and do those few things really well. I've said the phrase ocean wide, inch deep 100 times in reference to this game at this point, but you can't look a gift horse in the mouth when developers are doing what developers should be doing, and that is listening to the people who are paying their paychecks and I don't mean the CEOs, I mean where the money's coming from, the consumer, it's really hard to complain. In fact, I laud it despite the fact I am not interested in playing this game. I feel like the people who do like this game supported these guys, and they deserve all of the fixes, all of the improvements. Just, it's awesome what this developer is doing with this game, even if it's not one that I like personally. What I do personally like is when people are willing to go ahead and enable notifications, because it's actually really difficult to navigate YouTube nowadays. My Falcon account, I miss our videos on. I have to go to the GameRanks channel to ensure that I will see them, which, yes, I do watch our videos. I almost never edit the actual video end of things, and I always like seeing what the guys did, but I have to manually go to our channel for it. So enabling notifications is a way that helps. At least you know exactly when we've uploaded a new video. It's doing us a big solid, so thanks a lot for enabling notifications. Let's get back to the video. At number 9 is Star Wars Outlaws, easily one of the most improved recent games. Star Wars Outlaws launched in a playable but pretty damn flawed state, but has only improved since. Honestly, this is one game that really does play different thanks to totally fresh mechanics like enemy weak points, new animations in the combat, new weapon slots, and completely overhauled stealth mechanics that just make this game so much more fun to play.
All right, Nix, go get him. Nix, go. Get him, Nix. Okay, Nix, let's try to stay.
Prefer a GLP-1 pill to lose weight?
So, I never intended to be super skinny. I've always been a big guy, but because I noticed
I didn't hate this one as much as other people hated it, but I didn't like it. Part of that was just how bad the stealth was when it launched. Outlaws genuinely had some of the worst stealth in video games, and there was this terrible early mission that forced you to stay hidden, or you failed instantly if you got caught. This was one of the things the developers at Massive changed. Like, they've gone on to change a whole lot more as well. Mandatory stealth sections are completely gone from the game. That's big plus number 1. But stealth is also much easier to understand thanks to new icons and indicators, more lenient detection time, and generally more options for dealing with enemies when you're caught.
Seems clear. That's Warzone.
Just leaving.
And Mayor, eh?
They even added shooting while driving speeders. Well, I guess you could always shoot technically, but although the Futurama meme says otherwise, technically is rarely actually the best way. Now, you can aim freely, think Red Dead Redemption, but with a blaster pistol. Quite nice compared to what it started with. Two DLC expansions also add a lot more story, more endgame activities, give you an access to a ton of spaceship combat upgrades that make ship-to-ship dogfighting a lot better. And I'm not even talking about the quality of life changes, the bug fixes, the polish passes, the general improvements to the feel of the game. This was a fun but flawed Star Wars open world game when it launched. The flaws were a little bit too much for me. Gave me a bad taste in my mouth while I was playing it, but having gone back, they have improved the recipe to the point where I actually quite like it. Like, good for Ubisoft for publishing an open world game that both feels different from the usual Assassin's Creed map slop stuff and generally working to improve or expand upon a game that is dangerously close to crossing into great territory. Number 8 is Monster Hunter Wilds, one of the most criticized games of 2025. Got a much-needed upgrade this year. PC performance was a particular criticism of Monster Hunter Wilds, as Capcom attempted to do stuff with an incredibly big and open and vast, you know, the things that Resident Evil engine. And no, I'm not calling it Reach for the Moon engine. You just shut right up. things that the Resident Evil engine wasn't really designed for. It's not like Resident Evil is tiny little corridor-based games, but vast open worlds it is not generally concerned with. However, things have changed drastically from release. It's way more optimized in Title Update 4. That came in December, and in February they dropped another update, basically optimizing the game with a new update every month for a while there. The beefy PCs we use here were struggling to maintain solid frame rates at launch, and with a few settings tweaks, we're pretty regularly getting 100 frames per second now.
Here we go!
It's a big jump from the choppy launch, and Capcom keep adding more features like 10-star arch-tempered endgame monsters to the battle before the big Master Rank expansion, which will come later this year. A lot of Monster Hunter players don't consider these games truly finished until they've received the Master Rank or the G Rank. Sometimes the name changes. The features that come along with that as well. You have to wait a little longer for those improvements to take shape, but Monster Hunter Wilds is a game worth revisiting if you like Monster Hunter and it wasn't quite up to snuff for you. And number 7 is Kingdom Come Deliverance, one of the buggiest games we have ever played. In a surprise move, Kingdom Come 1 dropped a free next-gen update on PS5 and Xbox Series X, giving console players another reason to return to one of the most unique RPGs of the 2010s. This is especially important for anyone who attempted to play on PS4, like us, which was foolish. This game was never optimized well on any platform, but trying to play one of the buggiest games ever without fan patches on a console was an absolute fool's errand. The next-gen update doesn't just improve the visuals and performance to match ultra quality on PC, it also fixes some of the biggest lingering bugs, like the many sources of crashing that have been repaired, too many UI or translation issues to mention in one place, generally smoother gameplay everywhere. It's just a lot better. It's a game made for hardcore freaks who really want to be brutalized in the early game, but we have our limits. If you enjoy Henry's adventures in the far more polished sequel, it might be worth going back to this older game and checking it out. It might still bug out, don't get me wrong, but it's much less likely to brick your save, which we would call progress. And number 6 is Guild Wars Reforged. One of the wildest updates in recent memory is probably the Reforged update for Guild Wars. The original Guild Wars from 2005 got a major update in the last year and very recently pushed the new Reforged mode, replacing the base version of the game completely. Reforged is an overhauled, subscription-free version of Guild Wars that's built specifically for the solo experience. Reforged is rebalanced from the ground up with new introductory quests and mechanics that make solo play possible, not only possible but highly encouraged. The always online MMO has been transformed into an offline solo experience, and we would love to see more games get this same treatment. To make Guild Wars playable in its new non-MMO form, players will be able to access NPCs called heroes to help tackle tough quests or hire additional henchmen. The update also updates the graphics and makes the game easily playable on modern systems, consolidates the 3 story campaigns, there's hundreds of quality of life improvements. Genuinely, this update turns Guild Wars into a different game, and one we're a lot more interested in playing. Thankfully, it doesn't erase the old version. If you want to play with friends to tackle content balanced like the old days, there's always veteran mode. This game is still getting updates, with the most recent May update making Reforged the main way to play. It's either a great decision or an absolute travesty, depending on how nostalgic you are for Guild Wars, but for us, we're there. At number 5 is Destiny 2. Destiny 2 is dead and is in the best shape it's been in years. The live service game I think we all have a love-hate relationship with at this point is getting some desperately needed upgrades in 2026. The most important change is Bungie completely removing the awful portal menu from the game completely. The portal was a big menu introduced in the Edge of Fate expansion. It was meant to be a progression hub, showing you all the activities required for power leveling. It was a solution for onboarding new players that didn't understand how Destiny 2 worked. But instead of fixing the game, the portal absolutely destroyed player interest, broke the magic spell of immersion, and turned Destiny 2 into a rote list of boring chores. Getting rid of it isn't the biggest change coming to Destiny 2. The real improvements are in the Moment of Triumph update. The final major update enhances almost every aspect of the game and fixes issues we've been complaining about for years. PvE, for instance, is being overhauled with special ammo pickups being doubled, your weapons deal more damage, and more and easier ways to get the rarest best loot in the game without any of the FOMO grinding nonsense.
Told not to engage. The Praxic Order skirts the rules to enforce them for the Vanguard. I'm trying to keep this crew safe.
We can have a nice grindy game without the live service forever game crap, and Destiny 2 is slowly showing its whole ass. The live service aspect of Destiny 2 is what made it, at a fundamental level, interesting, but it's also what ruined what could have been a good game. By dying and dropping the full court press of microtransactions and seasonal content, we might just have a fun Bungie shooter now. And number 4 is Age of Mythology Retold. Against all odds, Age of Mythology is still getting updates in 2026. Xbox Game Studio is uncommonly kind to the Age of Empires and Age of Mythology franchises, supporting these games and their developers despite a crucial detail. These games aren't really that big, and neither is their genre for that matter. Still, these games themselves have really dedicated communities that are actually relatively large, and they buy up every new piece of DLC. Age of Mythology is an especially abused game, dropping a truly terrible Chinese Pantheon expansion back in 2016. The Chinese Pantheon frankly sucked out loud. It was a cheaply produced, trashy, money-grubbing expansion for a beloved but underselling franchise, and was a sad way for the series to die. Until Age of Mythology Retold surprised us all in 2024. The game has been constantly expanding since then, dropping full single-player campaigns and entire pantheons for China, Japan, and most recently the Aztecs. The Chinese Pantheon update totally overhauled the faction, replacing it with a much higher quality one. Is this one of the only instances where developers completely replaced an old expansion for a game? I don't really know. If you can think of any other examples, we're coming up blank, so hit the comments if you got one. Age of Mythology feels new in 2026. The Aztec faction is one of the best in the game, adding a totally fresh flavor to an extremely high-quality set of levels to play. It's a game that has only gotten better since release, and it was already one of our favorite RTS games. It was basically forgotten back in the day. Now it's thriving like never before, and you love to see it. And number 3 is Lords of the Fallen. It's not going to win any awards for Best Souls-like in 2026, but man, is it working on that Most Improved trophy. This game's still getting updates, and the most recent 2.5 update added a lot to the game, including a completely revamped and updated final boss for the main route through the story. All the bosses and boss AI also updated and enhanced, while also easing up on the annoying difficulty with a better spread of possible attacks and better boss weapons with new animations to make these uniques feel a lot more special. In general, this ambitious Souls-like got a lot of major improvements since release, polishing the game up, making encounters that feel very solid. The sometimes mushy combat feels a lot tighter. The improvements to camera, lock-on, and general performance push this game out of the 7 out of 10 range. No, Lords of the Fallen is not a perfect 7, the term we came up for on the Falcon show to describe 7 out of 10s that we like better than 9 out of 10s or even 10 out of 10s a lot of the time. But with all the lessons here that they have learned, perhaps Lords of the Fallen 2 has a shot.
In Albion, no matter where you go or what you do, your mount will accompany you on your journey. Perhaps
At number 2, it's Look Outside 2.0. This is one of our favorite underground indie games. The original release was something special, easily. But the 2.0 update is the real deal. This is the game we were meant to get. 1.0 might have been out of early access technically, but again, what did I say about technically earlier? Not usually the best thing despite the meme. The meme is sarcastic, as you may or may not know. The 2.0 update is what we wanted from the start, though. 2.0 adds multiple new insane endings, including a Symphony in the Night style, alternate apartment building to explore, new characters to recruit, and a living vending machine that sells you soda pop, new apartments, like an apartment that's been flooded, just a lot of really cool stuff. Mechanics have been completely revamped, bosses totally changed, new music tracks to make each character encounter feel more special. Old areas like the Warzone have more enemies and treasures to collect. Sewers have been updated with new creatures and more complicated objectives. Even the old content has been revamped. Like one apartment changed drastically if you don't deal with the teeth problem early. The game is now packed with Easter eggs, which is exactly the sort of stuff we want to see, like an ending revolving entirely around crossword puzzles or the ability to recruit the terrifying smiling monster you encounter at the start. The original release had big late game problems in that there really wasn't enough to do. Now there's almost too much. We highly recommend visiting your neighbors and getting over your main character's fear of clowns, to say the least. Look Outside 2.0 is now the right time to play a deranged horror masterpiece if you haven't. So do. And finally, at number 1, it is Atomic Heart. This is a game we wanted to love on release. It's a gonzo shooter with a Soviet utopian theme, and it's one of the weirdest games ever made. There's scenes of surreal beauty mixed with the main character that loves to repeat his signature catchphrase, crispy critters, over and over again. It's like BioShock on Cossack shrooms.
Isn't there supposed to be a radio in here?
The entire Soviet Union is ecstatic about the unveiling of Collective 2.0.
Yeah, I just came from
in
one of them. I
every
get
city.
it.
It's both deeply serious and absurdly silly, and man has it improved since launch. The final DLC for Atomic Heart released in April 2026. The Blood on Crystal expansion includes the actual ending of the game, completing the story and closing the Bizarre Story teaser at the end of the main game, and it's just one of 4 huge expansions that have been released. Each expansion improved and refined what makes the game work, gives you new regions to explore, completely wild new enemies that fulfill insane promises this game made upon release, and it also just plays a whole lot better with years of patches and subtle gameplay updates that made Atomic Heart feel much closer to what we wanted years ago.
The alarm. Wait, I got it.
Also, one of the expansions is set in an underwater city, so all these BioShock comparisons are quite accurate now, let's say. That's all I've got for you today. 10 games that have improved or are improving in 2026. There's always more games that are getting more updates, so let us know in the comments which ones you